AITA for not giving my friend a ride just because I have a car. So I, 27F, have a car. Nothing fancy, a 2011 Toyota Corolla that's been with me since college. I take good care of it because it's all I've got, and living in a city where public transport isn't reliable, my car is essential to my daily life, work, errands, doctor appointments, etc. My friend, Jake, 29M, doesn't have a car. He used to, but it broke down over a year ago, and he never bothered to replace it. He works part-time and says he's trying to save for a new car. But in all honesty, he spends a lot on eating out, video games, and weed. Not judging how people spend their money, but I think it gives context. Anyway, ever since his car died, Jake started asking me for rides. At first, I didn't mind. We've been friends since college, and helping him here and there felt like the right thing to do. But gradually, it became constant. He'd text me in the morning asking for a ride to work, then again at night to pick him up. Weekends? He'd ask me to drive him to hangouts, the store, the bar. It went from, "Can you help me out?" to, "What time are we leaving?" Here's the kicker, he has never offered gas money. Not once. Not even when I hinted at it or outright mentioned how expensive gas has gotten. He also doesn't say thank you anymore, it's like he expects it. One time I told him I couldn't drive him because I was low on gas, and he replied with, "Well, just fill up, you always do anyway." The last straw came last weekend. I had a bad migraine and was in bed with the lights off, barely able to move. Jake texted me asking for a ride to a party, not an emergency, just a party. I told him I was sick and couldn't drive. He replied, "Can you just push through? You don't even have to come inside, just drop me off." That was it. I told him I wasn't a taxi service and that I felt like he was using me. He called me dramatic and said it wasn't a big deal since I have a car anyway. We haven't spoken since. Now some of our mutual friends are saying I overreacted. That Jake's just in a rough spot and I should be more understanding. But I'm exhausted, emotionally and financially. I never agreed to be his personal Uber. So Reddit, AITA? Update. Hi everyone. I didn't expect this post to blow up, but thank you for the overwhelming support. I genuinely thought I might have been overreacting. But reading your comments helped me realize that I've been letting Jake take advantage of me for way too long. Some updates. I sent Jake a message after posting here. I told him I needed to set boundaries moving forward and that I would no longer be giving him rides unless it was a true emergency, and even then, he'd need to contribute to gas and give me advance notice. I kept it calm and respectful. His response? A 7-paragraph rant. He accused me of being selfish, inflexible, and said, "This is why people end up alone. Because they can't even help their friends." He brought up all the times he had been there for me emotionally, and said I was throwing our friendship away over a few gallons of gas. I didn't reply. I was done arguing. But what shocked me more is that two of our mutual friends, the same ones who previously said I overreacted, reached out and told me Jake had been complaining to everyone about how I abandoned him. He even called me a fake feminist because I preach independence but won't help a struggling man. But here's the good part. One of our closer mutuals, Sarah, privately told me she had also felt used by Jake in the past. He used to ask her to spot him for food, drinks, even weed. Always with promises to pay her back that never happened. She said my post inspired her to reevaluate their friendship too. So yeah, things are shifting. Some friends have distanced themselves from Jake. Others are still defending him, but at least now I know where I stand. Final update. Hi again. Final update. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. After I cut off rides, Jake went silent. But Sarah, the mutual friend I mentioned, decided to post anonymously on Facebook about emotional freeloaders in friend groups. She didn't name names, but it was obvious who it was about. The post sparked a lot of conversation among our wider friend circle. Turns out, Jake has been burning bridges with a lot more people than just me and Sarah. One friend shared that Jake guilt-tripped him into letting him crash on his couch for a few days, which turned into 3 months. Another revealed that Jake borrowed money for car repairs months ago and never paid it back. The pattern became painfully clear. Eventually, Jake deactivated his socials and stopped showing up to group events. I don't know if he's embarrassed or just trying to avoid confrontation, but either way, I feel lighter. I've been reconnecting with friends who respect boundaries, and I've learned a huge lesson about not letting kindness turn into obligation. I also bought a little sign for my dashboard that says, "Not your Uber." It's silly, but it makes me smile. Thanks for the validation, Reddit. Definitely not the a-hole, just someone who finally learned to say no.